Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies with a Z. Each episode we go over in depth about one movie in particular. And of course we have a movie to talk about today. But before we get to that, this episode will have the fan vote attached to it. That's right, you, the audience, can choose what movie we review after Coco's recommendation. The four movies you have to choose from are Lilo and Stitch, which was recommended by Jesse; Big Trouble in Little China, which was recommended by Just Colossus; Goodfellas, which was recommended by Maz Tech Gaming; and The Thing from 1982, recommended by Gaia Legend. If you want to vote for any of these movies, just head on over to the promotional tweet for this video and or podcast and choose. The poll will be up for the entirety of the weekend. All right, now that that's out of the way, if you want to send us a recommendation, you can. You can send us an email at ff.filmfreakswithaz@gmail.com. Or you can just simply comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks on YouTube. Now, without further ado, I am Yemmy the Ferret. Who am I here with?
Grady Waffle.
Famation.
Coco Gamer.
What is up, boys?
Oh,
Not much.
How's
Got
everyone?
some,
much.
good movie recommendations.
So I recently moved 2 days ago, and Greedy Waffles, with his massive muscles, helped move the furniture.
Oh yeah.
So now I actually have central air conditioning, which is
That's
amazing.
Nice. I
Definitely
never knew
useful.
that about you, Nick, that you had big old muscles.
Oh, secrets.
Well, you see,
Yeah.
he's like a Belgian waffle, right? He's big.
Yes.
I don't know how else to describe a waffle.
He's big.
He's
That's
big.
it.
He's got deep holes. He soaks up
got deep
syrup really
holes.
well, and he tastes great with butter.
Mm.
What about
What
syrup?
about syrup?
I
Yeah.
said he has deep holes that soak in the syrup.
Oh, that's where
Yes.
the true strength comes from. Is the
Yes.
syrup.
Now, do you like
Mhm.
putting any fruit on your waffles
Oh yeah, blueberries, bananas,
at the same time?
raspberries. Oh, I get what I take. I'm not picky.
Now, if
Whatever
you
I
had
have
to
in the house.
choose, would you choose a Mickey Mouse style waffle maker or a Texas shaped waffle maker?
Mickey Mouse for sure.
Would you say about Texas? Random.
I actually didn't hear what you said.
I said
Yeah,
I said what you say about Texas.
Oh, this yes.
Yes.
Anyways,
See, if I get a Disney waffle maker, I might not be able to let it go.
Anyways.
so Tay has a movie that he recommended. Tay, what did you have us watch?
So, I had us watch Guns Akimbo from 2019, directed by Jason Lee Howden, also written by Jason Lee Howden. It stars Samara Weaving, Daniel Radcliffe, Reese Darby, and others. Long list. It was basically a guy who relies on his newly acquired gladiator skills to save his ex-girlfriend from kidnappers, which, right off the get-go, now that I've seen the movie, I have some words about that description. Like, that's not, like, I guess kind of, maybe, like, 5% of the movie is that.
Right.
But,
Mhm.
but the where to start? What'd you guys think overall? I guess start there.
Where does these quote-unquote gladiator skills come from? Because he did not show any gladiator skills throughout this movie.
Right? And then, well, I guess his gladiators, they figure, or I guess the director thinks being able to fire a gun is a gladiator skill.
But he couldn't! Oh, is that too soon?
At the very end, he could.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he grew as a gladiator through his time with the pistols.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say I wouldn't call him a gladiator at all. I mean,
Gladiator's more charging and stuff.
Swordplay.
yeah, I
and,
was
Yeah.
melee stuff.
Yeah.
Not oh, I have guns. Gladiator.
That would be a very fast gladiatorial match if one guy came in with a spear, the other guy's like, it's like that scene from Indiana Jones where the guy comes out with a sword, and Indiana Jones is
I'm
just
also cool. It's like, fuck you.
yeah. You just brought a sword to a gunfight. Yeah, well, I just brought a gun to a machine gun fight.
Like,
Well, there wasn't even a scene like that in this movie where the guy grabs a spork and charges him, and they just shoot him.
That was just funny. I laughed at that.
I did too.
Did
There were-
anyone
there
else
were-
like?
So go ahead.
Anyone else, like, since we're on that scene, anyone else like kind of hear her struggle to say a spork? Like she was kind of like a spork. I'm like, what? Like what? And I even rewind it, and she literally struggled saying spork. I'm like, is it that hard of a word?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't notice either.
No, go watch it again, and
I can't
You'll
remember what
notice.
scene you're talking about.
Oh, maybe I will.
it's near the end of the movie, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think out of everything that guy had on his table, I would have maybe picked up something a little bit heavier and more durable than a spork if I was in that position. Like, okay, I don't have a gun, but I do have like 3 heavy-duty monitors and a keyboard, and maybe even I could use the mouse as like a whip, But grabbing the spork from the
Yeah.
appropriately named S it wasn't Kentucky Fried Chicken, it was like SCF or whatever, SKF. But maybe even like grabbing like food and throwing it at them maybe would work a little bit better than a spork, but it's still funny.
Just run the opposite direction. Just be like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out.
We're just stuck on the cover. It's like no, yeah, like, what?
Maybe just continue eating your meal and they'll just leave you be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have to kill you. They only kill you to charge.
I don't know. I think they're all killing everyone. So
Well, they were, but they didn't immediately shoot him. No, he kind of just got up and he kind of just watched him for a bit.
Yeah. He might have been able to play it cool and just leave and then
Or
run
give them
for
the
his life.
information they wanted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
But no, he decided to charge him with a plastic spork.
your reaction was funny though. Daniel Radcliffe was like, "What was he doing?"
I think that's how any of
Yeah.
us would react to seeing that. Like, why? Like, at that point, you might as well just shoot yourself.
Just like grab the guns, like
Yeah.
do the whole Snowpiercer scene.
So I wanted to talk about how I felt like this movie, the director was really just trying to be like Edgar Wright, like through all of it, but didn't quite pull it off. Does anyone else agree with that, or that's just me?
You're going to have to explain a little bit more about Edgar Wright.
Who's that good white?
Edgar Wright, he did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Baby Driver.
That doesn't help me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I know I know the movie.
I know the movies, but I am watching.
All right, well, I guess those are my next picks then. No, I like Edgar Wright, and so Edgar Wright has a style that it's. I guess this guy was. It seemed like he was trying to imitate, but didn't quite pull it off as well. Like especially like at the very beginning when you see like him get bumped by somebody and a bunch of Sonic rings pop, like animated Sonic rings pop out and stuff like that. That was felt very trying to be Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Okay.
And it just seemed weird and out of place since it's also like the super ultra violent movie where it's like, okay, you're kind of trying to do like kid stuffs, throwing like kid weird things to show like, he's a nerd. But I don't know, it just fell out of place to me.
What I thought they were trying to show is that he was very into. He was a technical person. Like they showed off like him staring at his phone, like right there he said like I haven't been on the street of his phone, and him like losing coins and symbolizing like a game, and how he symbolizing foreshadowing like a game, and he went into the gaming department working on like a mobile app.
Oh, I know what they were trying to do, and it worked. It's like, okay, I guess as a gamer guy, it just felt out of place and forced. Like
it was a little forced, I'd say.
That's like Edgar Wright does. He'll do things like that, or like the weird, like random, just switching to a GoPro on the object moving. They did that a lot in this. Where it's just like, okay, that was just weird. Didn't need that view. It made me more sick than anything. Just things like that. It's kind of like I said, it's very Edgar Wrighty, but not done well.
I think if they had more of those moments where he would lose coins or lose.
Yeah, if they'd kept with it.
Because obviously Daniel Radcliffe is playing this character who is, he's kind of like an introvert and he doesn't go out much. And, I think, like, seeing more of that stuff, like, because that kind of stuff is, like, I'm guessing it's supposed to, like, appear in his head from, just being addicted to video games or something like that. And I feel like if we had seen more of that stuff, it would have made more sense in that aspect. I do think that the, like, flare that they put on the screen, like, how many bullets were in each of his gun, I really liked how it, like, was like a neon sign type thing. That. I think there was a lot of those, like, editing choices that looked good. But then, like you were saying, like, those shots with the GoPro on his foot and stuff like that, like, I didn't like some of them. Other ones I was just like, it's kind of a cool little, neat little thing, but I think there was just a little bit too much of it in the movie.
Overdone.
Yeah. Same thing with him running into people. I feel like he bumped into people way too often in this movie. Mm-hmm. It seemed like every time he was on the street, he would just randomly bump into a person. And it's just like, that's happened several times now. We can move. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was walking down the street today and I was thinking about that scene, all those scenes where he's bumping into people. And I'm like, if I just keep walking straight, that person is going to get out of the way, even if they're not paying attention. They can see me and I'm not moving, or I'm going to move out of the way. And Daniel Radcliffe with freaking guns in his hand, attached to his hands and in his pockets, looking straight forward, just runs into people. It's like, if you're trying to be caught, that is how you do it.
Yes.
Agreed.
So going back to Tay's original question about whether we liked the movie or not, I really want to know from each of you guys if you liked the movie, because I really did enjoy the movie. It was fast, it was action packed, it was a movie that was made for someone like me who doesn't like a lot of downtime in movies that drag it on. And I did like I did like how it took that idea from, like, there was that movie called Nerve that came out, which was about, like, a giant conglomerate of online people, betting and doing things like Truth or Dare style, except whereas this way it's like it's an underground, well, not really underground, I guess, but like a killing thing where 1v1s kind of happen and thousands and millions of people watch at the same time. And I feel like they took that idea from Nerve and made it better, because I hated Nerve. I thought Nerve was a boring piece of junk, but this movie I actually really, really enjoyed, and I really like Daniel Radcliffe in this, like, scaredy cat role. But what did you guys think of the movie?
I'd say I kind of like the same thing view. It was really action packed. It was surprisingly kind of funny. At some points. And I'm glad, like, in 17 minutes in, he already has the gun on his hand. We already have, like, kind of some of the most of the expedition is done, and we're actually getting a lot of action in that just the first couple, like, 20 minutes into the film, and we lead up to more action. So yeah, very fast paced and very action packed, which is amazing.
Yeah, the movie was fast paced and very action. I think the movie's only an hour and a half or something like that, which is a lot. I mean, it's a big concept, and I thought they were going to expand on the concept more, but they're like, oh, nope, this is what it is. This is the boss. This is, the angry woman. This is, and then, some movies, like Yemmy said, they would introduce the cops, and then they'll show, the background of the cop. I mean, they did show the background of one cop, but, that was like 2 minutes. But, I thought the leader of what's the clan called? Schism or whatever?
Schism.
Yeah, Schism.
I thought, there was going to be a whole big background of like how he got into it, why he was there, but nope, it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go. And then, I thought the scene under the bridge was going to, that was probably my favorite scene is the bridge scene where they're under the bridge. But I do agree with them, but there's parts that I could nitpick.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was the same for me. Like I had a fun time. Like I said, very beginning, like I was just kind of like, stop trying to be Edgar Wright. You're not Edgar Wright. For me, obviously, that was kind of a big thing since I know who Edgar Wright is. But overall, like I still enjoyed the movie, and I thought I had a lot of good, just like scenes that were just really done well and funny. Also had some weird scenes where I was just like, okay, we didn't necessarily need that scene, but. Like him eating the hot dog off the ground.
Oh, I thought that was funny.
It was pretty funny.
It was funny, but at the same time, I'm just
Do you have
like,
anything vegetarians? Like, what do you expect him to have?
I know.
I was expecting that scene to go, like the old man grab the hot dog and just kind of like go in and out of his mouth and like start like toying with them, but it didn't.
which is good.
I
would've
loved
hated
every
that.
scene where he was trying to use the guns as hands. I think that was just so well done because you could almost it was almost like Daniel Radcliffe was actually getting frustrated trying to do this crap, and he's like, "What did I sign up for?"
It's like, ugh. He picks it up. You would think there'd be some sort of something to help you, but it seems like everything, if you have that, everything's working against you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely would be difficult. I don't know, like part of me on one hand's like, I feel like, come on, you can wiggle your fingers, pick things up with your fingers.
That's what he did on the when he was driving. You could see he used his actual fingers, so he's still somewhat be able to use.
Well, at the very end, well, that's because he had gotten the guns removed.
No, not in the very end when he still had the car and he was
Okay, gotcha.
driving away.
Yeah.
From his he see like a tiny detail that he was using the base of two of his fingers to hold the wheel together.
Gotcha. Well, good.
You know
Yeah.
how,
'cause
like,
that's- Sorry, go ahead.
sensitive his hands probably felt, like
Oh,
anything
yeah.
that would touch him is just like
That's
painful.
probably hurts. Like, quack.
Yeah.
Well, I think they did a good idea of, or a good job of when he did shoot a gun, he was like yelling in pain because it was, that's a, I mean,
It's
gun-
loud.
it's loud, and also it does send a jolt through your entire body pretty much, and when your
All your
hand is
bones.
bolted to the damn thing,
Yeah, it's gonna send a
Those
huge
bolts were
jolt on
probably
your body.
vibrating.
yeah.
The bolts were probably vibrating in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the movies. It's so much much louder.
Oh, it is. It is. Although I feel like they were like they did that all in one night. I was like, I don't think your hands would recover like that.
Oh
fast.
yeah, his hands would definitely be much worse.
Maybe
Yeah,
he was
like-
just drugged up.
Yeah, maybe that's
maybe.
right too.
I do want to talk about, and maybe I missed like the whole like concept of it, but what was his job? Like, go ahead.
We can easily explain that. He was a programmer for an app that was built
okay.
to
Dying.
steal people's money, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So
kids
it was like a
addicted,
pay to
steal
win
one's
type
credit card.
thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Coco.
I figured it was like one of those like something with technology, the way the guy like was able to access the phone and everything.
Yeah.
But I couldn't understand what his job was, and I was like, "What's his job? Is he like a teller or something?" Like,
Yeah, I think you missed the. He had like a few lines early on when he originally went to the job.
Yeah.
Before he got the guns strapped to his hands, where he described what he did and he described the app and stuff like that.
So he was like, he hates his job, which I can understand why.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
what do you guys think of his boss? Did you hate him? Did you like him?
Well, I
And
don't
here's
think
the-
anyone liked him.
Yeah.
wasn't made,
It did take me by surprise when he got shot in the face. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that Daniel Radcliffe was going to do it, but then I was like, no, his character wouldn't do that. And then his character didn't end up doing it. It was actually Nick's.
Mm-hmm. And he figures it's like, wait a minute. And he's like, oh, that makes much more sense.
I found it real funny because he had a protein shake in his hand every time, and I actually have that same shaker bottle. I'm looking at it right now, so it's just like it's like that.
Nick is
meme
going
where-
to become him in the future.
It's like that meme where what's his name is pointing.
Spider-Man?
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, wait.
Yeah, I think that scene where he did get shot was one of my favorite parts of the movie because Daniel Radcliffe like shouts over to his friend. He's like, "Cover me," and the guy's like, "With what?" And they used the Nerf gun from the beginning, which I thought was a nice little like run. It set that up in the beginning. That was actually a really funny little scene. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah. We have all
that
made
line.
mistakes.
I like that she just looks at him. I was like, the fuck?
It was sad when the friend got killed, though. I was sad by that.
Yeah,
oh.
it was unfortunate.
Like, I wish they kept them alive longer. Just like at the end, just
I'm
have him
surprised
like.
they didn't make
here.
that scene longer because
Mhm.
I was like, oh, now he's gonna weep and get angry, but nope, he was just like, oh, shut his eyes with the gun and move on.
I think that just kind of plays into how fast the movie is. Like they don't want to dwell on something for too long, obviously. But plus, I mean, they didn't really do much. I mean, obviously he had his character set up early on, but he wasn't in the movie like a lot. So I think that like spending more than a few, maybe a minute or two looking at his dead corpse is probably enough screen time for a character we barely saw anyways.
True. What do you guys think of Nyx in this movie? Because I really enjoyed her.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Hey, no, not like that. I'm just saying she was pretty funny, and it's just
Well,
she did a good
Yeah,
job
that's what
playing the
I'm saying.
badass role, which is what she is. She was supposed to be portrayed as this badass, and she really does do a good job of that. But I mean, other than that, it was just like she did her part. Nothing really to say other than that.
yeah, I think she did a good job. I think that once she once we kind of learned more about her, then the character became a little bit more than just like goes around killing everyone. And obviously it's kind of set up towards the beginning that she's a more flawed character or whatever. But I think that once her personality really starts showing, that's when the character starts to become more likable. And I really did enjoy her character.
Yeah. So I guess I briefly wanted to talk on this because someone might comment about it. So I actually did a little research on the movie because I was trying to just look up stuff about the director. So I was like, was he trying to be Edgar Wright? It's like, does he list Edgar Wright as inspiration? I found out actually the movie almost got canceled or like delayed. It wasn't. They decided to keep it because the director got into some shit right before the movie came out. So you'll probably never see another movie or movie directed or written by him. Maybe written. But yeah, he apparently started cyberbullying a bunch of people right before this movie came out.
Boy.
Oh, geez, I wonder where he got that idea from.
What's funny is he started cyberbullying them because he felt that they were cyberbullying someone else, even though they weren't, and he was.
Wow.
Well, it's funny because there's like a subtle commentary in this movie about cyberbullying and trolling and stuff like that. So just to have this guy who actually wrote the film do exactly what he was portraying as a terrible thing in this movie, but but doing it in real life, that's yeah.
I thought I was just like, seriously, you can't make this up. That's so dumb and funny.
And you guys like pause and read any of the like comments they were saying like online when he was on the computer?
Yes.
Some of them are funny.
I love his comments. Like, it's just worse than YouTube comments. It's like, actually, no, it's the same.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's so true. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, the one comment, like, I didn't pause any of them. I was able to read most of them pretty quick. They weren't very long. And I remember the one comment that I thought was funny. I was like, why don't you come up to your mom's room and tell me that? I thought that was pretty funny. The one line I really, really loved at the very end, I guess we're going to the end.
Sure.
where
The condom.
so he's been Daniel Radcliffe's character, I can't remember his name now, has been shot several times, and he goes to the main boss, bad guy, and starts like pistol whipping him, and then throws him off the roof. And then he has that like delusional thing where like his girlfriend and him embrace and start kissing, and you think, okay, I guess that's weird how this went that way, and it's like cuts, and it's just him lying on the roof, hemorrhaging blood. It's like that's not how it happens. Apparently, like, and the line I really loved is like, apparently when your ex-girlfriend watches you pistol whip a man to death, she gets PTSD and not a raging lady boner.
Yeah.
I was like, exactly.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, I was like, finally, a movie that tells it right.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. But what did you guys think of, I guess, the very, very ending where he ends up becoming a vigilante to stop all these new schisms that have popped up?
I felt like it was kind of cheesy, and I also felt like it
Yeah.
wasn't deserved because that dude got shot 3 times with a high caliber revolver, one of them being in his neck. So I would rather have had the movie end with him being, bleeding out.
Dead?
And
Yeah.
dead. And then
Dead or in a hospital. Or
and you can
something, just
still
like-
have like the Guns Akimbo comic book be there, and like you can still have him doing like a voiceover, but instead of him, have it be Nyx, or no, not Nyx, she's dead. Have it be his girlfriend, and she like, but I don't know.
she like takes on his honor and stuff like that.
I don't think that she would go out and start killing
Yeah,
people
no, she
like
just-
him, but
She just made a comic about it.
yeah, make a comic about it, and then have like someone who was maybe in the background in the movie holding the 2 guns and being like, I can take his place, or something like that. I think that would have been a better idea for that, especially because it could have been someone who like hacked his email and got all the the other schism locations.
Yeah. Or the homeless guy.
Yeah.
The
Oh
homeless
yeah,
guy.
that would have been cool. I
like him.
like.
I thought the ending kind of ruined it for me, the movie for me. I thought it was really dumb. But, how did he defeat him if, he's laying there, bleeding out? Like,
Well,
did he
what
still
I figured,
beat him?
Maybe-
Or,
No,
yeah, I mean, they said the police were going to be showing up there shortly, so I imagine they showed up, or like, the bad cops said this place had to be swarming with police. So I assume the police did get there and were able to save him, is my guess.
Or his girlfriend came over and kind of patched him up at least.
no, how did he defeat Richter? Like, did
They-
he,
Oh, he-
still
yeah,
pistol whipped him? Or?
Yeah. At the
Yeah,
end
he
of the
pistol
movie,
whipped
he
him
even
and threw him
says
off.
that, all that happened up until when his girlfriend started kissing him, That's what he says. Maybe you should listen to the movie a little bit.
Well, I mean, based what it showed, it was like he was bleeding out there after the shot, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, he did kill Richter, threw him off the roof, and then passed out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But either way, like, I mean, I just feel like he wouldn't been like he would not be a free man. Like, well, maybe he's white, so.
Oh, that god, aren't you?
I'm just saying the justice system works better for white
The justice
people.
system was awful in this movie. They didn't do anything.
It's
Well,
true.
I mean, he was. I think he was more of a victim in this crime.
He was.
He was definitely.
He did. He's,
more or
He
less
was forced to do it, so technically he shouldn't be with any charges because he didn't kill any police. Because
Well, he did shoot a police officer.
But he
But
said
he did,
he said he was
put-
sorry. He apologized. So that
He
makes it
did.
all okay.
well, he did try to save him though, but the
It was
police
just- I mean-
officer,
The police officer didn't die. He just he was shot in
Yeah.
the shoulder and.
Yeah.
police officer's just like, the heck are you doing?
Yeah. But no, I feel like there would have been more consequences than him just being like, well, I'm better now. I've
See
been,
ya.
I had the guns removed.
What
And-
did he get those guns removed though? That's the question.
Surgery. Lots of surgery.
And then he got Nick's finger.
Yeah. He went and recovered her finger.
And he got a ring somewhere.
Well, that was Nix's ring,
Yeah.
I think.
That was
Oh.
So did
that was
he
the
get
main
it-
thing on her
Did
middle
he get
finger.
it off the body? Like when did he?
Yeah.
When did he get that?
Yeah,
Well-
he
Because he stuck the middle finger in Richter's mouth when he fell off the roof. So
I
I'm,
think he still had the ring. The ring came off. the
yeah,
finger.
maybe he had the ring. I don't know.
I didn't pay close attention enough to see if the ring was still on the finger when he stuck it in, or if it maybe
He
came off.
didn't show the finger too much, though. They kind of just like it's like, oh, it's going in his mouth, but we couldn't really see too much of the finger. So it's like, oh, but he has the ring now on the end. So it's like, I'm not sure if they're going to make a sequel or then.
Well, obviously they won't make a sequel now, but
Well,
Yeah,
they still could. It
now
just
they
would be
wouldn't.
written
I'm
and
just saying
directed
they
by
were setting
somebody
out for a
else.
single.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could direct it by someone else, but I doubt they would.
So, what'd you guys think of the main villains in this one? Because I thought that Richter was a really good villain, but I thought that his two lackeys were lacking in character.
Yes.
Plus,
Yes,
I think my
agree.
least favorite part of this movie is when the dude with the hammer comes around and he's beating
Yeah.
up Nix, and then Nix takes a hammer and all of a sudden Hammer Time starts playing.
Yeah.
I hated that sequence so much. It was like Nick, your least favorite part of the movie that almost ruined it for you was the actual ending. Mine was this part.
Well, that includes it, so yeah.
What, you didn't like the whole ending even when they started shooting up the schism place?
Well, no, the part where the lady comes in with the two the shotguns is when it started going downhill for me.
I like the dialogue between them. Like Nix is like, nice AA-12s, and they're just talking it up. And
But why did the AA-12 sound like machine guns? They don't sound like machine guns. They don't fire like that, I don't think, right?
well, I mean, they're automatic.
True. I think they've probably been like together for a long time, so like I'm pretty sure they would just actually just talk to each other normally. And since they both kill people on a daily basis, you think that's kind of a normal interaction with them.
Anyways, go ahead.
Basically.
I think Coco, you're thinking of that wrong because Nix wasn't. She would never go to the schism base, and that woman with the AA-12s, I don't think she was actually a part of like the 1v1. I think she was just more of like a bodyguard
An
for
admin. Yeah.
an admin for
True.
Richter.
Never mind.
So, same with the hammer guy.
Yeah, it was the hammer guy and the lady.
Yeah.
That was their bodyguard. His bodyguard.
But like I said, I hated that hammer guy. I liked the AA-12 girl. She was funny, but the hammer guy was hamming it up a little bit too much for me. And also,
Well, throughout the whole movie, he was like just making mistakes and doing things wrong. It's like Richter would not keep this guy around.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
But-
you see him freak out just when the director's like, "Hey, no, we should go to this shot," and
Well, that was
it's
Richter
like,
himself.
okay. Yeah, no, but I'm just when the director's like, "We should go to
The
this
guy
shot," he's
who
like,
was,
"No, stay on this shot." Then they had a disagreement, so they killed the director, and it's like the Hammer guy has made just as many stupid blunders as that director. Why is he still alive?
Well, that's true. Yeah, he couldn't even get a freaking live stream started on his phone.
Yeah.
But I
He said
did.
add me on Instagram. So
I
you know.
did really like Richter as a villain though. I think that they
Oh, yes.
fleshed him out well, and I think he had a very likable personality for the character he was doing. Like like the hammer guy, he was just full of like cliches, and like he tried to do like that Joker thing with a knife, and he was doing like all these references which didn't work for me.
Yeah,
But
the
Richter-
references.
But Richter, on the other hand, he was like a really well done, really well written, funny villain, and he matched the tone of the movie perfectly.
Yeah, I agree. They did Richter well.
Because the Rockies were lacking.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how Nyx is like this awesome like killer, and like in the scene like in the beginning where she's like fighting all these guys, and then she gets to Daniel Radcliffe and couldn't like shoot him from like 2 feet away.
Yes, we can talk about that.
Yeah, that kind of got me itchy.
Well,
the
it's
wrong
too early
way.
in the movie. You can't kill him yet.
That's true,
Yeah.
but
I just picture the pitch meeting for it. So how does he survive? So the movie can continue. Okay.
Yeah, like
it's a bunch of
It's like-
that.
It's like, how can you survive there? Because.
I do feel like they could have had some other like bounty hunters in the mix. But starting off with Nyx and showing how much of a badass she is and how lethal she is, and then having her go to this apartment and miss every single shot, it except for one, he did get shot in the arm. But other than that, it's like
Which
you know,
How damage he got. He barely took any, like, he took all his damage, but barely, like, did the scratch to him, apparently.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Well, I
don't-
think
I don't complain about that too much because this movie is like a goofy comedy.
Yeah,
It's super
true.
action packed. Like when I watched that
Good point.
Extraction movie on Netflix, they were trying to put that into reality, right? Like it was a more realistic movie. And they had people getting hit by cars and living. They had people being hit by several bullets and living. It was one of those things that's like, this makes no sense in the context of that movie. But in the context of this movie, him getting shot, him falling through, off of a building, blah, 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 and living makes sense because the movie isn't taking itself that seriously. And thus,
True.
you need to suspend your disbelief just a little bit in order for
Yeah,
it to make,
it's not,
to
That's a
be
good
fun.
point.
yeah.
Throw out there.
And I back to so why Nyx I think missed a lot. It's just because she was taken off guard. She was expecting somebody to try to kill her, and she's just like, this person is not trying to kill me. So I don't think she was taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
But I mean that's kind of what I got from the scene. But it still did seem a little weird. It's like she can't kill him.
And just like, I
Yeah.
also like that scene where Nick's just trying to give him points on the shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like,
She
stop
eats
trying to
that
help
thing
me.
What do you guys think about the minigun scene?
that was fun. I like
Yeah,
how
that
cool.
was fun.
I like how
Yeah, that
Daniel, like, he walks around the corner and there's these two gangs. They all at each other, and then she just comes. I thought that was a really fun scene.
And just like, well, it's like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very predictable scene. Once it was set up, like, okay, Nyx is going to come in and just kill everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all knew, like, no matter what weapon she had, she was going to kill it.
Yeah, but you didn't expect her to stand on a pile of
Yeah.
cars with minigun. I thought
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was
yeah.
come in, with
No.
their pistols and
Yeah, that
You didn't
minigun
know
was just
how it was going to
fake.
happen. You knew it was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely worth the minigun there, because that's just so. It was such a great scene, I have to say.
I also like how the one dude in like the leather jacket, he's like a greaser, he's got the leather jacket, his hair slicked back. I do like how he took that opportunity to shoot the rival gang guy in the
Yeah.
face and then run away. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the CGI blood effects in this movie?
Oh, they weren't great.
Yeah, they didn't look that good. And I really
they
think that
look
this
not
movie
the
would
best.
have been a lot better if they used like squib kits or like practical effects with the blood,
Mm-hmm.
especially in
Yeah.
those scenes where it's like close up of a guy getting shot in the and I think that they
Yeah.
could have used a little bit more of the practical effects in it. It doesn't bother me that much, but and this one
Yeah.
this isn't like that Fury movie that we talked about before where it's like an
Mhm.
army movie and you're seeing like puffs of CGI blood. This one does a little bit better job with the CGI blood, but still I think that CGI blood will always be trumped by practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Well, to me, it seems
Well, I'm-
like they use various different colors of blood. Like
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
there was a dark color blood, and then in the scene where they're in the cop car and the bad cop shoots the one cop, and it was just like a bright orange, colorful blood. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It
Well, and I
seems
think
like
since the movie was trying to be a little more cartoony in a lot of ways, I thought they could get away with it. And I guess it kind of gets away with it, but it does distract from the scenes where you're just like,
I
yeah,
agree.
why is that blood kind of orange?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. And then just some of the other CGI, like the glass breaking and stuff, or like when the car's getting wrecked. It was noticeable, like the CGI. But like I don't know, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great.
well, even when she shoots the drone with RPG, the fire,
Yeah.
that looked like something like that one app you could use back in when it was famous, where you could have something, be looking at something, like have a airplane come and blow it up or something like that. You
Something
guys
like
remember that app?
I was like,
Yeah.
wasn't that like around Mission Impossible 3?
Yeah, like it was just some
Something.
app, and you couldn't make like anything explode. That's how it kind of
Yeah.
looked to me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny is like again the director probably did a lot of special effects because apparently that's what he used to do was just do special effects. Like he did some special effects on I saw Planet of the Apes, like the new one,
Okay.
but I don't know. I mean, this was probably low budget. It wasn't a ton of
Yeah.
time.
And
CGI
he
really
seemed to be
depends
like
on
a
the budget.
one man band in it too. He was directing,
Yeah.
writing. editing.
Yeah,
You have to give him credit. He did he did a lot of work in this movie. Even though he's not that great of a person, but he does
then almost
did a lot of work.
threw it all away by
Yeah.
being a dick on the internet.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't know if he did the special effects on this one. I don't think he was credited for the special effects on this one. I
Maybe
just
he
saw
had, like,
I'm
input.
looking at his IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he had input, but yeah, he didn't have like a special effects credit on IMDb like he did for Planet of the Apes and a few other movies. So who knows? But either way, that guy's a dick.
Yes.
All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about Guns Akimbo?
No, I think
Not
I'm
very.
good.
All right, Tay, lead us off on our final thoughts and review.
All right. So my final thoughts. Obviously, it was a big thing for me because I'm a big fan of Edgar Wright and seen a bunch of Edgar Wright movies. That it felt like he was just kind of trying to be Edgar Wright and not succeeding. So that didn't help. And luckily, that didn't go throughout the whole movie. It was just like the first 30 minutes of the movie. He was trying to be Edgar Wright and didn't succeed. So other than that, like I said, it was enjoyable though. A little over the top violence sometimes, I think, but I get that's what they were going for, so it worked out. But overall, I enjoyed the movie, had fun with it. But I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I thought the movie was really fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I liked all the visual gags and him trying to use the guns to do daily tasks. I really enjoyed the action scenes. Obviously, there was a lot of really fun action scenes. I just, the ending was a little iffy for, I think, all of us. We can agree that the ending was like, you should have ended it right there when he was passing out. I really liked Richter as a villain. He's probably not going to be like the most memorable villain ever, but he was still really fun in this movie. I wish his lackeys were gone. But I enjoyed most of the stuff in this movie. I liked the soundtrack. I liked how it built upon the world pretty well, and I mean the scenes with like the homeless guy and his friend were really fun too. And all in all, I'd give this one a 4 out of 5.
Ooh. All right, I'll go next. Yeah, I found it enjoyable. There were some scenes, like I mentioned earlier, that were questionable. That whole scene with the hammer, she would have been knocked out, or wouldn't be as functional, But who knows? Maybe with the heroin or whatever, got her the next strength. But like Yemmy said, the quotes that he was doing was a little over top notch, and there's some things that the movie overlooked, like him getting shot in the arm and then not expanding off of that. But I did enjoy him struggling, doing the daily task of like walking through the streets, with 2 guns bolted to his hands, trying to do daily things, and meeting that homeless guy. That was funny, and it was good to see the homeless guy throughout the movie. Him watching a TV wherever he got it from to watch Miles be awesome and do his thing. And overall, I'll give this movie a 3 out of 5.
I agree. Base value points. Generally, the movie was actually better than I expected. I had low expectations when I watched the trailer for this movie, but I thought Nyx, like, for what the part she had, she played it. I'll say good. And other than the CGI being some elements being like not that great, but overall it was kind of funny when especially when Nyx was like shooting dick shots at people, and it's saying him was like, well, I would shoot yours, but it's too small. And then also like when you say it's like, come on, kid, and like the homeless guy says, come on, kid, and he's shooting TV, and the TV's cracked, and nothing's actually showing. So overall, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So
Same ballpark.
yeah, pretty much. Coco actually has a movie to recommend to us for the next episode. Lay it on us.
All right. I was just thinking about this movie for a couple of days now, and then finally decided to choose it. I'm going to be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And in synopsis, in 1935, Indiana Jones arrives in India, still part of the British Empire, and is asked to find a mystical stone. He stumbles on a secret cult committing enslavement and human sacrifices in the catacombs of an ancient palace. This movie was also made in 1984. So we all know we got Harrison Ford, we got Kate Spau, Kihei Wan, Amish Pui. I am butchering these. Roseanne Seth, Philip Stone, and Roy Chiaro. We have like a whole bunch of people in here, so I'm not going.
Yeah, this one's got some killer names in it.
Yes, it does.
So I gotta say, I was worried for a second when you said Indiana Jones and I was like, oh no, don't say it, don't say it. And I thought you were gonna say Crystal Skull, but he didn't, so I'm happy. Although it's been forever since I've seen this one, so it'll be an interesting one to.
It's
see.
a classic.
It's a famous movie. Obviously, it's a famous series of movies, but it's a very famous sequel. Which I think isn't this one technically a prequel?
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to watch this one again. I haven't seen this one since I was a kid, and I remember. I think you guys probably know the scenes that scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be fun to watch this one. Coco not picking a superhero movie.
I know.
Is that really Coco?
Indiana Jones
I was thinking
is
about it, but
like a superhero.
I like Indiana Jones.
He's a super guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't watched any of the Indiana Jones in a while, so it'd be good
Yeah,
to.
so I've watched the first and the third one a bunch, but the second one I've only seen it over once. I think it was my least favorite of the three. But
There's supposed to be another Indiana Jones movie coming out, but Harrison Ford's like 75, so I'm not sure if he can still do it.
He might just say, nah, enough of this.
I think they talked about getting Chris Pratt to take over his role or something.
He still wants to reboot his movies, surprisingly, but I'm like, you're getting to that age where you can't do it anymore, dude.
Does Harrison Ford want to do movies at all? Because like whenever you watch interviews with him, it just seems like he's just so done with everything and doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah. Well, that's why he had them kill off Han Solo in Star Wars, so he didn't have to do those movies anymore. And yet he's still doing Indiana Jones, and he's still doing Disney movies like that Call of the Wild movie that came out. And...
Right, and the reason it did so bad, was this is a different topic, but the CGI dog was like his idea. It's like, I don't want to work with a real dog.
That's so weird. It is. It's so weird.
It takes a long time to train a dog, so it'd probably be costly.
It takes less time to train a dog than to freaking train a human to do some of the tasks that they do.
True.
Yeah. Plus all the CGI.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just as as an example, I was talking to someone who used to be in the police force, and he was like, they would rather send 5 guys into a place where a guy is shooting people with a gun instead of a dog, because a dog is more expensive to train and does it's harder to it's you know what I'm saying. It's less
I know. I know. Just.
But. Yeah, if you don't want to be spoiled, or if you want to join the conversation for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, make sure you watch the movie before we review it again in 2 weeks. That'll be 2 weeks till the next episode.
Where can the movie be found?
That is right. Where can it be found, Tay?
I don't know. It's not my movie.
Everywhere, basically.
Is it on Disney Plus at this point?
I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Right, let me pull up the list so we're not just all going, All right, so it is on Netflix. It's on Amazon, as Google Play, Microsoft, YouTube, Vudu, Apple TV, and of course the PlayStation Store as well. And you can also watch it on DVD, Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Good.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Should be fun.
And just a reminder to the people listening, if you want to join in on the vote for the fan vote, make sure you hop on over to my Twitter at Yemmy the Ferret. That's where the poll will be. I'm sure everyone else will retweet it on the same day. Like I said, the poll is going to be up for probably about 3 days, which will be enough time for us to get enough votes in to declare a winner. If in the result of a tie, whichever one was winning the most, like throughout the entire thing, will probably be chosen. But we'll get to that when we get to that, if we get to that. I think that's it. If you want to send us your recommendations, you can always email us at ff.filmfreakswithaz@gmail.com or comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks. We will put your movie in the list of movies to be recommended. And I think that's all that I gotta say. Anyone else have anything that they would like to mention?
I do not.
No.
Good.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Film Freaks. I'm Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with...
Pretty awful.
Damation.
Hey, Coco Gamer.
And we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thanks for listening.
See
Bye-bye.
ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Hammer time.